Boy, he's getting very precise here with that, isn't he? All right, Chief.
Good evening. We welcome you to the regular City Council meeting of the City of Cross Lake here in Cross Lake, Minnesota, Monday, August 10th at 7 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I assume you've all had time to review the additions to the agenda. We need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Motion Nelson,
Second.
second Wessels. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The consent calendar. All items here listed are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be acted on by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council person or a citizen requires so. We'll accept a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll make that motion.
Motion.
Second it.
Motion Schrupp, second Hecox. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Move right in. Public forum. It's an opportunity for public to speak. No action will be taken on any of these items. If appropriate, the issues will be placed on an agenda of a future council meeting. The speaker must identify themselves with their name and address, and we would prefer that you limit your address to 3 minutes. If you need a few more, let us know. Anybody here for a public forum yet? I'll close the public forum. Critical issues. Cindy Mugato, Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening, Mayor and gentlemen. Cindy Mugato with the Chamber of Commerce in Cross Lake, and I'm here to update you on our plans for Cross Lake Days, which will take place the last Saturday in September. This year it'll be September 24th through September 26th. We're starting it on Thursday with the annual kickoff of the 3 clues. So one clue will come out Thursday, one Friday, one Saturday, to find the missing chili pepper. It's been a really popular event. The prize to the people that find the chili pepper hidden somewhere in the city limits of Cross Lake is a basket of items donated from local merchants. And last year, that basket was valued at $1,500. So it's no small prize. It's gift cards and stuff from local merchants, which makes it really fun to redeem all that stuff. Last year, actually, it was won by 2 dads who were stuck with or strapped with 4 children under the age of 5 because the moms were shopping the craft fair. So the guys said, let's go out and find that chili pepper, and they did, and it was super awesome fun for all those kids. So that kicks it off on Friday, then on Thursday, the 24th. Then on Friday, the 25th, the Cross Lake Recreation Area Campground is holding the 4th of a series of outdoor movies that have been taking place this summer. So they have a great big giant inflatable screen, and they're going to play the movie E.T. It's free for everyone to attend. The 2 that they've had so far, one in June and one in July, have been very well attended. There's actually another one coming up on August 20th. It's a Thursday night. And the movie will be Finding Nemo. And they take donations for funds to light up the dam. So that's what the whole outdoor movie thing is for. So they're hosting one that Friday night of Cross Lake Days, so we expect it to be well attended and fun. And then a Friday night, of course, there'll be entertainment all over town at local establishments and so forth. And then Saturday is really the big day. It'll be the 29th annual Chili Cook-Off. The community center is hosting the 6th annual disc golf tournament. We'll have classic and custom car, truck, motorcycle, and this year we're adding tractors to the custom and classic car show. Yeah, so classic cars, tractors, come on out.
Working on it.
Crosswoods Development has been gracious with us, and they really much let us take over Town Square. We moved it over there last year, and it was really successful. Music in the gazebo, Mossy Aries will be there with their food and beer garden, so it's quite fun. There will be the crafters and the vendors all over town, so we'll have them at the Exchange lot, as well as the Cross Lake Area Lions will be at the Old Catholic Church lot, right on 66. And then, of course, the Cross Lake Lutheran Church is having their bazaar as well. So traffic does get a little congested at Midtown there, but we work with the law enforcement, and so far, so good. So, also, the Cross Lake Fire Department will be having an open house that day. There will be daytime and nighttime events at lots of the retailers, lots of the merchants, lots of the establishments, really stuff going on all over town. Of course, last year we had over 30 chili contestants, so that creates a lot of traffic all around town. We'll also be selling the chili beads, and the chili beads that we sell support the event, and then the people are able to cash in on deals and discounts and buy one, get one free stuff all over town as well. And then the Cross Lake Historical Museum will host their annual cider and Cadillac tour that evening. So, as a part of the chili bill that we had passed a couple years ago, I do need to have a motion approving the chili cook-off in the community of Cross Lake.
Also move.
Second.
Motion Wessels, second Schrupp. Any discussion? I hope not.
She does a
All in favor?
fantastic job.
Huh? What?
She does a fantastic job.
But she really does. And it seems like there's new events every year.
I
Thank
have a
you.
great committee this year, too, so it's
Great.
a group effort.
So you have no control over the heat and the chili, though, do you?
Well, no, I don't.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Welcome.
Let's see on other critical issues. Mayor's report, we have a commission appointment. Doug Viersba has applied and has been recommended for the Public Works Commission, and we welcome him to that commission. Suspect we should have a motion to approve him.
Is he here tonight? Sometimes a face with a name
think so.
helps. No?
No.
He was a former city engineer. I didn't see him name the city, but he's been in the game for 38 years, so he knows public works.
I'll make that motion.
Motion, Schrupp. I'll second it. Second roll. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. City administrator, that'd be Mr. Vogt.
Two items this evening. One is a recommendation to interview and hire a part-time park maintenance worker. You have the memo from the park director, John Henke. The request is to move Ron Harkin from a part-time position to full-time effective August 17th, 2015. And also, as you know, we're advertising for a replacement. This is when, as Terry Kincaid is retiring this week, after the interview process, to approve the hiring of a part-time maintenance worker. After the interview and background checks are completed, the pay would be based on qualifications in accordance with the 2015 AFSCME union contract. The new hire would serve a 6-month probationary period. Benefits would be prorated based on 32 hours for the first year and adjusted accordingly at the beginning of each following year, and then staff will supply the name of the new hire at the next regular meeting. What the intent is to have the interviews, because you only meet once a month, have the interviews, get the interviews done. You have Councilmember Wessels that'll be part of the interview team, along with the Finance Director, Mike Linus, and John Henke, and to actually go ahead with the hiring and then bring the name to you and have you ratify that hiring after the fact. If you're comfortable with doing it that way, it would be much appreciated to get the person going at the Parks Department just as soon as they can. Otherwise, you'd have to wait till middle of September.
We're going to miss Terry. I want to thank him for his years of service. I don't know how long he's been there, but he'll discover that retirement isn't all it's cracked up to be. Anyway, do we need a motion for that? I think we should.
Yes, there should be a motion for both items, a motion for each item to move Ron Harkin from part-time to full-time effective August 17th, 2015.
Also
I'll move that. Motion by Vogt, second by Wessels.
I wish I could make that motion, but I won't.
That's
So.
right, you can you? Motion by Wessels, second by
Schrupp. I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that motion was to move Ron Harkin from part to full-time. And then we have a second issue of hiring a part-time maintenance worker for the Park Department, interviewed by a team, is named by Mr. Vogt, and probably would be hired before the next council meeting, and then his employment would be brought here to be approved. If there are any concerns about that, we should discuss it, otherwise we need a motion.
I'll make the motion to,
Motion Schrupp,
I'll second.
second Hecox. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Then item 2, Mr. Mayor and members, is a resolution increasing the monthly sewer user fees in keeping with past practice. We would do this by resolution. I know at your budget meeting recently held, there was a motion to approve the increase of $8 per month through the sewer user fees. This resolution would ratify that action and make it in the form of a resolution rather than just a motion. I want to point your attention out towards the bottom of the resolution, just picked up by our city engineer, effective upon the January 2016 billing for December 2005 usage, commercial and residential usage charges shall be as follows. So strike the word connection and replace it with the word usage. So anyway, the usage charges would be commercial $45 per month per 8,000 gallons of metered usage, and then the residential charges would be $45 per month.
This rate increase was discussed during our budget as part of the budgeting process, I believe, for 2016. That will be effective in 2016. I believe that's what it says here. And so any discussion? Need a motion?
you might want to mention it was discussed and recommended by the Public Works Commission. I said that already, so that's
Okay.
I guess you don't have to do that anymore. So.
As recommended by the Public Works Commission, okay? And actually, the council, during its budget workshop, discussed it as well. Need a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion Hecox,
I'll second that.
second Nelson. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else, Dan?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commission reports. Planning and zoning. Here comes John.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, John.
First item on our agenda is the planning and zoning statistics. We gave this sheet. If anybody has any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Otherwise, next, moving on to
Make sure you're
the,
speaking into the mic.
Yes, sir.
okay? Thank you.
next, the number 2 would be the final plat of the Whitefish Business Park, consisting of 5 tracks and 4.53 acres. Kurt Schnichter is the owner of these lots right now. We've received a letter from the county surveyor, just checking and making sure everything was correct, and it is. There's a survey, stormwater plan. We have a memo from the parks folks about the park dedication fee, which they've paid. We received a check and it's been receipted. And then developers agreement between the city and Mr. and Mrs. Schnittker for road development and the development of the rest of it. So what we need for that piece would be a motion and a vote on approving.
For everybody's information, this park is adjacent to and just south of the recycling center, across from, what is
North of
it?
Pet Lodge.
Yeah, about across from Northland Pet Lodge. And so if you're curious, that's what the clearing was about. I received a few telephone calls on what's going on a month or so ago. And it appears that it's A-OK.
Yes.
So.
And we brought
anything
this preliminary plat before you at the last meeting, so
else? You did.
no changes, no significant changes at all have been.
So you're looking for a motion on the agreement for the business park?
We're
or
looking
the-
for a motion for the plat. This is the final
Approval of
plat
the plat?
application. And it includes all of that, and it would have to be I would suggest, as part of that, would be to implement the stormwater plan. That would be a condition. That you accept the park dedication fee in lieu of the land, and that you accept the developer's agreement that he presented to the city.
Shar, is that good enough to make a motion on? Have you got all the pieces to that? I can make that motion.
I'll second.
Second, Wessels. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next part of the plating process is to change ordinance number 325, naming an unnamed road, and it would be bringing in Addy Lane and adding it to the master road index. And it just ask for a motion and approval on that.
Also move.
I'll second.
Motion, Wessels. Second, Nelson Hecox. We'll take one. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And then a motion to print that in summary form, to publish it.
Oh, yes, that's right. Forgot about that.
Also move.
I'll second.
Motion, Wessels. Second, Hecox to
Publish.
publish the amendment, ordinance amendment in public media. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And the last item on my agenda is to go over the recommended changes we have to the land use ordinance. I'll go through them here, what we're proposing, and this is to bring it forward to a public, to publish it for public comment, and then proceed into a public hearing with the Planning Commission at their next meeting at the end of September. And then from there, bring it back to the City Council in October for final approval. So this would be a request for you to approve to get it published for a 30-day comment period. The first, Article 11, is the Shoreland District Standards, and we are suggesting that you eliminate Section 316, which removes the residential accessory structure language from that article and moves it to Article 36. We're just taking what's there and moving it down. Article 12 would increase the impervious surface for rural residential parcels that are zoned rural residential 5, and change it from 15%, which it is now, and upgrade it to 25%. We've got a lot of small lots that just 15% doesn't work, and we'd like to change that.
Our R5 zoning is minimum lot size of what?
5 acres.
That's what I thought.
But there are a lot of RR5 existing parcels that are less than an acre, and they would have to go above that 15%, they'd have to come in and get a variance.
Okay.
Article 33 has to do with the Schnitger plat, where we want to add requirements for multi-business pylon signs, so that out on the road, on County Road 3, when this goes in, there'll be one signpost with multiple signs on it. And to allow that, instead of each one of those individuals, if they turn all those 7 lots that are going to be in there into businesses, they're not going to have 7 big signs right out on the road. So this is language to fix that part and add multiple business signs on one pylon.
Don, that's roughly a doubling of the square footage of the current limitation. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
From 32 to 70 square feet?
Yes.
And
Well,
round numbers.
you can have, if you have a business right along there, like you notice across the road from them, they just put in a new sign that is 128 square feet
For one business.
for one business.
So this would be,
Did that ordinance get changed?
Nope,
How'd they get 100?
that's what it
28
was,
square
and that's what it is now.
Okay,
Because of the speed limit that goes past there, they're allowed to have a sign that large.
considered grandfather?
It was part of the old ordinance.
Okay, all right.
So this is just setting criteria for the multi-business pylon signs, which we don't have any language right now.
Right.
Next one, Article 36, is accessory structures. We would like to add Section 26-960, and that takes that language from Article 11 and brings it down into a new Article 36 that talks about accessory structures. And what we would like to do is limit the size on parcels that are under 2 acres to a maximum of 1,200 square feet per building. And then any building, any accessory structure that's going up between 901 square feet and 1,200 square feet would have additional setbacks that would apply. So instead of the 35-foot setback from the road, it would be 50 feet. Instead of 10 feet from the side yard, it would be 20. And add an extra 25 feet onto the lake setback on each of the lake classes that we have.
If you recall
Is
this.
that a residential, excuse me, go ahead.
Well, this is one of those unintended consequences of the ordinance that we recently passed
Yep.
for the commercial and the performance standards, and all of a sudden, you could go 25% or 15 to 25% impervious with no limitation on fairly small lots. You could put up a pretty good-sized building, as
I'm
you're familiar with.
that.
This is the fix for that.
Thank you. All right.
So, and then anything over that, you'd have to get a variance.
Is
Anything
this
over 12.
residential, or is this any?
It's residential.
Residential, okay.
And then our last change is to Article 43, the definitions, and we would define what a multi-business sign would be for the, up in Article 33, where where we're adding criteria for that multi-business pylon sign, we're defining what that means. So what we're asking for is to this go to public comment, to be published and out for public comment for 30 days. And then I think the timeline is laid out pretty good there. Planning Commission on September 25th, there would be a public hearing. Any changes would be brought forward to you on October 12th for final approval.
So this isn't necessarily approval, but it's approval
This is
for,
approval to put it out for public
continue the
comment.
process.
Get the wheels turning.
How come, one question, how come we've got multiple business signs in 2 articles? One of the things we kept striving for was to make this thing simple.
Article 33 is specifically about signs and what you can do with signs, and Article 43 are definitions. All of the definitions are in one spot, so you can go to the back and find out what it means.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll probably get a rash of building permit applications.
We already have.
I bet you have. I'll make a motion to approve these
you're gonna do-
recommendations and move it on to the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Motion Wessel, second Schrupp. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
When I don't comment after the vote, it means it was unanimous. All right.
Debbie.
Debbie Florshinger, Cross Lake Communications, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and
Good
Council.
evening.
My update tonight, I'm going to start with our fiber conversion. Phase 1, we have the electronics in now, and we've started the installation in our office. We're hoping to have that done this week, and next week we'll start doing some installations out in the customers' homes. That's going pretty well. We want to remind everybody that we've got our annual Customer Appreciation Open House on Wednesday of this week from 11 to 3. We're having a picnic lunch, so stop by for a hot dog and everything that goes with it. And we've got games for the children and enter into door prize drawings, and it'll be a lot of fun. So that was Wednesday this week. The advisory board is also researching the additional of 25 Timberwolves games. Fox Sports Net has sent us a letter that we have this offer again. If you remember, we had this last year. And these games are additional games that are not currently in our contract, and they are in the 2015 and 2016 schedule. And the advisory board is looking into whether that should be a feasible decision to add that or not. So that's on our plate again. The advisory board also recommends to the city council that we add Seton Law to our professional list of organizations assisting Cross Lake Communications. We have that list, if you remember, in February. We just want to add this, and I need a motion for that.
Make a motion that Seton Law Firm be added to our list, to the Cross Lake Communications list of professional organizations assisting our communications company.
I'll second that.
Motion Rose, second Nelson. Any other discussion?
Apparently, that's a firm you've used or CTC has used.
It's telecommunications related.
Okay.
And CTC does use them.
Use them already, okay.
Many actually in the industry are using them too.
So it was more of an oversight back when you did the other one.
Yeah.
Forgot about them, all right.
Okay. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And lastly, we have the subcommittee that was approved by the city council at the last, or the joint meeting that we just had. The staff is beginning to work on that and start working on compiling information to get to the committee, the subcommittee.
A little more definition.
This was the subcommittee of our liaison, our one other council member, which was Gary Hecox, our advisory board chair, Mike Winkles, Kevin Larson, and myself. And we're going to just research for the vision of Cross Lake Communications.
There we go.
So we're starting to compile information for that.
Super. Thank you, Deb.
And that's my report. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The illustrious John Henke, Park and Rec. Good evening, John.
Good evening. Staff report for this month, just some updates here quickly. Senior nutrition continues Monday through Friday. Just give us a call the day ahead of your meal if you'd like to come and try that out. Also like to let everyone know about our fitness room. We've got lots of programs, including Silver Sneakers and Silver and Fit, and also work with many insurance companies, so you can stop by and check out our facility at the community center there. Silver Sneakers classes, Donna continues to teach those classes Mondays and Wednesdays. She does the yoga class at 9:30, and then they also have the classic Silver Sneakers exercise classes at 10:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays, join us for the cardio class. That's one step up from the classic class. And for those people that want a little bit more of a workout, that would be a class for them. So stop by and check that class out. They are offered throughout the week. Pickleball continues Tuesdays from 3 to 7 and Friday mornings from 9:30 to 11. Yearly membership for pickleball is only $20, and day passes are available for $4. Our participation continues to climb for pickleball, and we're offering some classes this fall for first-time players. Our first class filled up right away, so we'll be offering a second class probably in October. Thank the volunteers for helping out with teaching the folks that have never played pickleball before. So contact us if you're interested in trying out this new sport. Yoga classes continue Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. with Gail at the community center. She's been teaching with us for a long time. Quite a few people are taking advantage of that class. Senior driving class, AAA class, it's a refresher class coming up August 13th. That's from 9 to 1, so if you're not signed up yet, you can still give them a call and probably get in. We do offer these classes monthly, so if you can't make this one, we will more than likely have one coming up in September again. Volunteers are still needed to help us out with the library patio garden. We got a couple ladies that are very loyal to this area. Had a few volunteers come and go, and we're just hoping to get a few more folks to lend a hand. They meet for a couple hours on Wednesday morning. Those two ladies are there most of the day. We're trying to get it so they can get out of there in a few hours, and the more people that can help, the quicker that we can get that work done. So please consider it. If you like to garden at home or don't have a garden and want to help us out at the community center, give us a call or stop by on Wednesday mornings, and you can talk to Marilyn back in the patio garden area. Give you an update on our shingling project. Talked about this. This is an item that was in our budget, and we decided to do this on our own. I'd like to thank Gary Nordstrom, who is a local roofer and just a super guy, led the project. Dale Melberg also helped out, and myself and Terry Kincaid came in, and we got that project taken care of last week, so went really well. It looks great, saved the city a lot of money, and we have Gary Nordstrom and the other volunteers to thank for taking that project on.
The council ought to make sure that we thank those gentlemen for their help. It saved us a buck or 10.
Yeah.
And Very generous. Thank you.
So, yeah, thanks. Paddling in the park continues. You can learn to kayak at the Cross Lake Community Center. We do this the second and fourth Saturdays of the month, and we're going to continue that program through August. Registration is just $15, and all you got to do is show up and register in advance, and Jim Bergquist is running those classes for us from Crowing Kayaks, and does a great job. So if you'd like to check that out, second and fourth Saturdays of the month, you can just give us a call to sign up. PAL update, we continue with our trail rides. Those fill up real quick, 10, 11, and 12 on Wednesdays. So you can call ahead. Pre-registration is required. And folks are getting to enjoy the new Nordic Ridge Recreation Area. And like I said, call ahead, call early, and we've got them throughout the schedule throughout the rest of the summer and fall, so give us a call and we can get you a date there. USTA donation, we'd like to thank the United States Tennis Association for awarding our summer tennis program a $230 grant to purchase supplies for our kids' tennis lesson program. So helps us buy new equipment for the kids every year, and like to thank the USTA for that grant that we received. Book sale update. This year's total, $5,422.81. Many thanks to all the dedicated volunteers that made this sale possible. It's a mountain of work to haul those books in, and Monday morning when we were packaging those books up, you'd have never known we had a book sale. There were so many books left over. This was a big year for us. We had more books than we've ever had before, and which was surprising because we've had these sales for quite a while. But $5,000 is a lot of money when you're selling a lot of those books for a quarter and 50 cents and $1 a piece. That gives you an idea of how many books are sold at that event. So Alden and Mary Hardwick and all kinds of volunteers, Carla Ballman. I hate to start naming individuals, but there was a whole crew that helped out with us, and many thanks to those folks. Next, Chautauqua is coming up this Wednesday. Very popular topic. It's on loon research and conservation in Minnesota, and it is going to be basically a wrap-up of the Minnesota DNR's conclusions from their study that was looking at the 2010 Deepwater Horizon oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, which contaminated a lot of the winter range of the loons. And so we're going to be talking about that this week. And Carol Henderson, who is the non-game wildlife program supervisor and co-manager of the study, will discuss her findings and learn more about loons and their recovery and what we can expect to see in the future. So as always, it's a free program. It takes place Wednesday, August 12th at 1:30. And it's an hour presentation. We have about 15 minutes for snacks, and then we get together for questions and answers after that. And should be a really popular program this week. Excited about that. Fall soccer. We are just started taking registrations here. Our deadline is September 4th. Program is for kids kindergarten through 12th grade. We are the only town north of Brainerd that has a 7th through 12th grade program. I shouldn't say north of Brainerd because Bemidji has a program and Walker has a program, but we get together with those folks and play some games, and also play the Brainerd Junior High teams, and kids that are between 7th and 12th grade is an alternative to cross country and football. So we've had a loyal following and had volunteers step up, and we're going to be looking for volunteers again this year. We have paid our coaches in the past. We cover that with registration fees for that 7th through 12th grade program. So we're searching for coaches and for volunteers and for kids to register, and hopefully we get a good group of kids and some coaches this year, and we'll start that program here in the next couple of weeks. So call the community center if you're interested in that one. And then last item on the list, we are going to be hosting a cross-country meet here on our new trails on September 10th. I met with folks from Pequot Lakes, the athletic director and the cross-country coach last year. And they've been real excited to come over and check out our trails, and we took them on the tour, and they were just ecstatic about it. Was just perfect for what they were looking for. It's an alternative to running on golf courses, which is, you know, running down fairways. This is a real cross-country race. You're running through the woods and through the hills, and it's really going to be fun. There's a lot of teams coming, and so we invite everyone to come down to the park and check this out September 10th. Obviously, the event is free, be lots of kids and lots of fun times by the people that are there and also the kids that are participating in the event. So let us know. We'll have more information coming up on this, but it'll be new to us and new to them and hopefully be an annual event. So if there isn't any questions, that's my report for tonight.
That was Rob Reed's suggestion, wasn't it, to do this?
Yeah, he originally talked to them, and they had been looking for a place to host these events for a few years and just hadn't had a chance to get over, and we didn't have the distance we needed till we expanded the trails last December. So,
Very challenging course for somebody who's dead tired.
yeah, and we've got a few areas to fill yet with some sand, or it's gonna be like a mud race if we get rain before that. We've got some maintenance to do out there, and that's why we need to get that other person in too, to help wrap some of that stuff up before this meet comes, but anyway, thank you. No one has any questions.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Great job. I don't know if this really is the city attorney's report or not, but city attorney's up on an issue that we've been spending too much time on, so Brad, it's your turn.
Sure. Well, and I guess I'll start it with, I just got a call from Mr. Bilski's attorney a day or two ago asking that we table this for any final action. And there were some procedural issues that we don't need to get into, but, so it's here, you can still talk about it, debate it some about what you want to see or don't see if you'd like, or wait for the meeting, but his attorney would like to be present at the meeting, and I only gave him a draft of this proposed resolution a couple days ago, and he's in the cities. So he did not have time to get up here. So since it's already been a year, however long it's been, I don't think a month is going to change anything. So I would ask that we not take final action, but I'm here to answer any questions you might have on anything you might have. We've talked about this quite a bit, but
I was sort of hoping we'd get this off our plate.
I was too.
well, that was a goal. I did draft a proposed resolution to address it, but again, since this has kind of been dangled out for so long, the official procedure of how you do a vacation has been kind of lost in the shuffle. And so, to be honest, they just had this a couple days ago, this draft resolution. So, doesn't mean you can't help me refine it some for next meeting if you'd like to talk about it more. This is just a draft. It has not been, I haven't had comments from the council yet. Or we can just wait and do it at our next meeting.
So we can't take any part of this, the whole thing is going to be tabled again.
I promised that I would give him the official notice requirement, which I did not do this time, before we take final action. So I'm going to officially notice him.
Did we know that he had an attorney?
Well, this is the first time I'd spoken to this, I knew he had attorneys, but it's the first time I'd spoken to this attorney, yeah.
The whole thing.
Well, doesn't mean, again, the final action on whether to vacate or how much to vacate, yes, I'd like you to table that. If you want to talk about the rest of the point or other conditions we might have or not have, we can talk about it some or just put it off until I know their attorney would like to bring up some points. I don't know what they are yet. Or just be here for that discussion. And by rights, they have the due process right to present their case instead of us just trying to do it ourselves. They haven't been here, so.
Well, we can't give them away. And we're pushing the issue with exhibit or attachment A, which is the piece along Manhattan Point Boulevard, which moves the right-of-way line more parallel with the opposite side of the street so that his garages end up on his property. That's one piece. I've been an advocate of taking this in pieces, because once you throw the whole thing in front of us, there are elements in here that we might agree with and elements that we don't. And I think if that's what he wants to do, that's fine with me, but
To me,
I'm disappointed. I thought we would get a piece of this resolved tonight.
Well,
Comments?
Park and Rec has always been of the opinion, let's do it all together, because they are attached, it's a curve point there, they attach, the line is continuous from one street to the other, it's kind of hard to tell where one street stops and where the other one starts. The encroachment has been there for a while. We thought this was a fairly reasonable way to address it, and Park and Rec had some other ideas for some other opportunities that they could come back with later on and say, could we do this instead? And we could decide at that point if we wanted to make changes to what we've already done. We have an issue here in town, we have to be consistent.
Yep.
The Summit Road deal was very consistent with what we're doing on attachment A here, but there was another vacation request that we denied and made them remove their improvements just a year and a half ago, down by Camp Knutson.
Yeah, but that's all, there's pieces of that are similar and pieces of that part that are dissimilar.
There are improvements on the public right-of-way, and we made that particular owner remove it.
Yes, I agree with that. So my point is, if we want to throw all the stuff in the bucket again, it probably will not get approved, and that's where I'm at.
I'm not willing to vote for a part of it. I'm either doing it all, and if I'm waiting another month, I'm more inclined to change my opinion on what I agreed to here. But if they want to wait, we'll wait.
It's up to you guys. I just,
And then I think we just need to be consistent with what we did down by Camp Knutson.
but I don't know how, when you throw everything together, we can be consistent with all the pieces. If we take a piece, part of this is consistent with a radius that we took care of over on Whitefish Avenue a couple years ago. Remember that one, where the thing
Summit,
went way
yep.
across the property? Huh?
Summit. That was on Summit and Whitefish Avenue.
And that's not dissimilar to this Exhibit A,
Correct.
same game. Now, when you talk about the encroachment on the western lot line, that's similar to another property that we have.
That we made them remove the improvements.
The improvement's still there.
By Camp Knutson, we made them remove those stairs.
That's the one that's, well, it depends on which one you're talking about. There's one on Whitefish side, there's one on Trout side. And I would like to see us making progress on these that are consistent with setting any precedents that we may be doing. And we've been pretty good at that so far. We haven't jumped out of bounds.
This,
If I will just notice it more obviously for both issues, and give them a full month to prepare, both issues meaning the garage street issue and also the lake access issue.
Right.
We can
right.
argue whether that's one or two issues, but they'll present it and however they want to present it, and then it's up to the council then next month to, maybe you'll only look at it as one motion, or maybe you'll separate it. I mean, we'll have that argument next month in my mind. But I want to make sure it's on the notice, and I've got plenty of time to react officially to both. They've known it's been talked about it, but I haven't technically noticed them with the lake part of it, and especially not in the combined motion, the resolution that Parks asked us to draft here that's in your packet tonight. So that'd be my official request, is just to table it. I'll give them the legal official notice of both issues, and then the council can decide how to do it together or separate, or how you're going to do it next month.
Need a motion to table
Can I ask a
this
question? Mark, is this the
application.
recommendation that the,
Park and Rec recommendation was what the resolution that you have in front of you
all right,
is the recommendation of Park and Rec.
And even this one might not be exact to what Park and Rec wants. I mean, we might want to customize, I mean, it's generally, I think, what they asked for, but, you might want to wordsmith parts of it a little bit. But that's generally what they've asked for, to do it in one motion and to, well, you've seen it.
Take care of two issues at one time.
Yeah.
It's all on the same road, it connects. And so take care of both problems. There's several buildings that this landowner has that are encroaching onto city property, buildings, stairways, sidewalks, and this would correct all of it at once.
Right.
We'd vacate a portion so that his garages are on his property, and we'd give him a license agreement to leave the other improvements there, just that he can't expand them. And he has to comply with the ordinance on right-of-ways like everybody else does. I thought it was very reasonable.
right. So are we required to wait, or is that just a goodwill thing to do?
Well, they raised some technical issues as to why it would be legally inappropriate to pass this tonight, and instead of having that fight, and it's been so long, there's no time requirement here, my suggestion is, let's not get into some legal argument about process. Let's wait a month and have a real debate on the facts, not procedure. What kind of improvements are we going to allow or not allow, is what we should be talking about, not days of notice and so on.
I see that Mr. Bilski's in the audience. Do you want to make an appearance, or is this okay with you?
It's our request.
All right. So be it. Need a motion to table.
Is this consistent with where you started last fall? I mean, if we would have just acted at the time and,
It could have been done last fall, yes.
right, I mean, being that there's two of us here that, aren't privy to, but I mean, in the conversation, you had a proposal on the table last fall and what Park and Rec recommended, and this is consistent with that, or has this been altered since then?
It's very consistent with what we've been talking about for a long time. At one time, we asked for a license agreement, and Mr. Bilski wasn't agreeable to it. This one's basically saying, we're going to give you a license agreement, and then comply with the ordinance. In the process of the license agreement, he gets his garage issues corrected, so that's that's the biggest part for him, is getting that part fixed. And so that gets done, and he gets a license agreement to leave everything else where it is. With the Park and Rec Committee, we discussed, after we approved this motion, we discussed numerous options that we could, as a city, do. We could give him a different license agreement. We could give him he could come back for a new road vacation request on a certain portion of the property, a different legal description of the vacation, the part of the road he wants vacated. There's lots of different options that he could do after, but this gets it fixed now, so it's now done, and if he wants to make changes to it, he could approach the city with a new request to vacate those portions of the street that he wants done. I understand our Mr. Person has kind of stuck his neck out here for us, not criticizing you, so tabling it, I suppose, is the right thing to do, although I'd really rather we just went ahead and approved what we have, the resolution we have, and if he wants to make some changes, wants to make an additional request, wants to get a different part of that road vacated, that he submit that to us, and we go through the proper resources, Public Works, Park and Rec, and then finally to the council to get those done. We've already done all that with this. But if Mr. Person thinks it's a good idea to table it, I suppose that's what we ought to do.
Well, as I said, I mean, I don't see any, other than we're just, this issue's getting beat to death. I mean, I get that point, but there's no emergency or critical issue of the city, that nothing's changed. It's been that way for years. So if it's their request, this is the first time I've spoken to his lawyer just a couple days ago. It would be inappropriate to pass it tonight and just not let them have a chance to come present this to the council. It might not change their mind. I'm not saying it will, but they have the right to come and have their own lawyer debate with you kind of what's the right answer or present their case.
I guess I would be agreeable to do it so long as I don't have to hear about where the lot line really is. That has been established by the court.
As long as you don't what?
I don't have to hear a whole bunch of stuff about where the Twin Beach lot line was. That has been established by the court. I don't want to beat that anymore.
Yeah, next month you'll have the power to listen or not listen, or you'll take final action, but then we won't have a procedural argument that can be made now if you pass it tonight.
I don't think it's a final action. It's an action to take care of a piece of it. Now, if he wants to move on with another piece of it, I don't have a problem with that. But, we're having trouble here just getting a motion to table the thing.
I understand that. I know people are ready to move on, but to be fair, we just drafted that 3-day. It is similar to what was talked about last fall, but it's the first time it's gotten into a unilateral resolution form, and I just gave it to their side of the fence Friday, I think it was, or maybe Thursday. And they called me, his attorney called me right away and said, please table this. I need time to get up here. I want to present to the council. And so that's why I think we need to table this.
I'll make the motion to table it, although I can't imagine any circumstance which I'll change my mind.
I'll second that.
Motion Wessels, second Hecox. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I have no other comments under the city attorney section.
Thank you, Brad. Any other old business that should be brought before the council at this time? New business.
Do we, there was a letter passed around earlier today. Are we dropping that, or are we doing anything with that right now?
What letter?
The one that you got by email,
I didn't get a
Mr. Schump's
by
letter.
email.
If we're not doing anything with it, then I'm fine letting it go. If we're going to do something
I
with it,
have no, it's just for the file.
well, I don't even know if it should be there. That's, if you want to talk about it, fine. If not, let's just let it go when it's done.
I think we'll let that mature a little. I think I know what it is now that you guys are talking about it. I don't think it's appropriate to act on it here. Well, it's not on the agenda, but it's also, could be quite controversial.
And then I have another piece for new business.
Okay?
That is, at the last budget meeting, I wasn't expecting to vote on the telephone communication deal, but we did, and it got passed to give that back. And so you weren't expecting this either, but this is actually part of our budgeting. We have heard several times, I have heard several times about the request for a full-time city administrator. I think Mr. Vogt has done a fantastic job for us. He's doing it at less than 20% of the cost of our former administrator. His contract runs out. I want to make sure that his contract is, I would like to make a motion to extend his contract through 2016 with the same terms and conditions that we have. I don't want Mr. Vogt to feel like the back door is swinging open and it's drafty. I would like to know, him to know that we appreciate what he's done for us in the past couple of years, and I would like to get that part of the budget. So we don't have to budget in any more than we currently budget. And currently, we budget $28,000 for his services. Last year, we didn't use all that. And again, $28,000 is 20% of what the former administrator was making. And so I would like to make the motion that we extend Mr. Vogt's contract through 2016.
I'll second that.
Motion Wessels, second Hecox. I'm not sure what through 2016 is, but I assume it's for the next year, okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Two opposed.
Well, what's the vote? I missed
Read it
these.
too.
Do you want to do a roll call?
Yes. Schrupp,
No?
Hecox,
Yes.
Rowe,
No?
Nelson,
Yes.
Wessels.
Yes.
Can I add a comment to that? Does the contract something we can review as far as work responsibilities, meetings, time in the office?
We can always add provisions, but the contract is, we just approved the continuation of the current contract. So we can request, but he charges by the hour, so we can always request him to spend more time here. And since he's getting paid by the hour, he sure could. So we can talk, we can have that
Have
conversation.
that discussion.
Another point to make, it's just kind of like with my contract, it's not like a normal city employee position. I mean, it's pretty much, you can get rid of him at your leisure almost. It's a pretty short notice period, unlike a normal, just like with the city attorney position. If you don't like what I do someday, you can get rid of me, hire somebody else. It's the same. So even though he said extend it for a year, a month from now, you might get angry with something Dan did, or he wants to move to Florida full-time. And, you know, it's not, you're not committed for a year.
You got a 30-day out.
Right.
90-day, isn't it?
I haven't read it in a year or two,
That
but
one? It's here. I think it's
I
90.
got a 30-day out on my other one, but I might have a longer one on this one.
yeah,
And
it
I
is
think
90.
that's- I think with planning and zoning, Chris, do you recall if yours is a 60 or a 90? 90 also?
Okay. But it's obviously, as you know, if
Right.
it was a full-time city employee position, it's much more difficult to make changes. So I was thinking it was 32, but it's 90.
Any other new business? Again, public forum. Anybody here want to speak to the council or the audience? Public forum, please come forward. Yes, please.
I am Joanne Tyke, and I'm here on behalf of the Wharf.
You are who?
Joanne Tyke. And I
Address,
just wanna know-
location?
Excuse
Come
me.
on, you got to identify yourself.
Joanne Tyke, I'm representing the Wharf tonight from Cross Lake, the restaurant and bar, the Wharf. And I am just here to find out what the procedure would be now that the state of Minnesota has passed the Sunday liquor license law, that we could possibly change the 10 o'clock rule on Sunday morning till 8 o'clock for us. So I think we're the only restaurant, or maybe one or two, that are open that early, that serve breakfast in the morning, and we cannot serve any alcohol till 10, and it affects our business quite a bit. So I'm here to find out what you can do to possibly change that, because the law has changed for the state now. So it was my understanding that it is a Cross Lake City issue that needs to be changed, so I just wanted to bring that up.
Guess I would look to clerk and the administrator.
Do you have her contact information? No. Maybe after the meeting, you could give Shar a phone and email?
Sure.
But we can get you it's pretty simple. A lot of cities have been doing that. We can get you a little memo on the procedure to bring it to the council. It doesn't mean you have to say yes to it, but, and we can give her the same information so she sees it.
Okay.
It's most likely just an ordinance change, I'm assuming.
Pretty simple, but we'll give you a draft ordinance. I've already done it in a couple other cities.
You've got it, right?
Yep,
It's
well,
yours.
between Shar and I, we'll make sure that gets in front of you for the next meeting. Doesn't mean you're going to say yes or no. I have no idea what you think about the issue, but it's very easy to get in front of the council.
That's why I just want to bring it up,
Yep.
because I wasn't sure what to do, so
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much. I just want to make sure that we don't drop that one, so I want to make sure that somebody is keeping an eye on it. Once we promise one of our businesses that we will look into it, okay? Anything else? Any other people want to speak on the public forum? With that, motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion, Schrupp.
I'll second.
Second, Nelson. All in favor?
Aye.